Hello and welcome once again to my channel. So in today's video we'll be looking at this amazing Power BI project. Alright, in today's project we are looking at the consumer complaints analysis, and this is the backstory for this project. Alright, so it says in today's highly regulated financial service industry, so consumer trust and regulatory compliance are critical to long-term sustainability. And so we are looking at this project. All right, so the data set represents over 62,000 consumer complaints submitted between this and that, and we have our analytical questions that we are looking at tackling. So if you come here, we have we are looking at the total consumer complaints that was received. We are looking at a percentage of complaints that are resolved versus unresolved, the total positive timely response count. All right, and we are looking at all of this. So this is what management wants us to look at and help deduce, break down, and solve for them. All right, and that is what in today's video. In this video, we are going to be doing. We are going to be going in and assisting management to come up with right strategies by answering these specific questions that is provided for us to look at. Okay, and so if this is something that you would like to tag along as I take you through or guide you through, be sure to hit the like button and stay tuned. All right, we are looking at this project, this being the end result for our project. All right, and so if you're interested in getting to know how this is done, all right, then like I was saying, be sure to stay with me as I take you through this entire project. All right,
it's all gonna be good. Don't worry about nothing, don't worry about nothing, nothing now. It's all gonna be good. So breathe like you know you should. Yeah, breathe till you find.
good. So now before we even begin tackling the project, the first thing that comes into mind or that should come into mind is your background design. All right, so some people would prefer to just have their background design as white, some people would prefer to do their background design in Power BI, but what I prefer to do is to prepare my Power BI background design in PowerPoint. All right, and then right after I just import my PowerPoint design all the way into Power BI. Okay, and so right over here is my PowerPoint design. All right, for my Power BI project. So this is what I have created. All right, as you can see, this is what I have created, and this is what I'll be using for my design. Now before you get started with this, I already have a video on this, how to prepare a background design in PowerPoint. All right, for your Power BI project. All right, but before you get started with this, you need to have gone through the questions and be sure of what you are solving and how you are going to solve them in order for you to in order for it to help you design your background. Yeah, I already have my background design prepared already, so I'll be going into Power BI, transferring this design from PowerPoint all the way to Power BI, and then we can start our work. Okay, so let's do that. All right, so this is my Power BI blank sheet. All right, or my report view. Okay, so this is my Power BI report view, and I'm simply going to go to the format to report page to import my design. All right, and so from here I'm going to go to browse. All right, and I'm going to select my dashboard, which is this. I've already saved it, and now that I have this, I'm just going to do this. And oh no, that's not my design, excuse me. So this is my design. Sorry about that. All right, sure. So I have my design imported into Power BI, right, from my PowerPoint page, all right, to Power BI. And so now I have my design, and we can go in and we can start dissecting the questions and helping management solve these questions. Okay, and so what does the first question say? All right, so the first question is asking us to find the total consumer complaints that were received. All right, wants us to find the total consumer complaints that were received. So we are looking at the entire complaints. All right, so the entire complaints that we got during the period. All right, and so for this we are going to be using a measure, and the measure is going to be the count of our consumer complaint ID. All right, so the count of the complaint ID. All right, because the ID is now going to be serving as the key. All right, for us to get the total complaints that came on board. All right, and so for this you can see I've already created my measures and all of that here. Now I do this so that the video doesn't become so long. All right, because these DAX measures and formulas can actually take a while. All right, so I like to prepare them and then I show them to you. So if you are not familiar with the DAX functions, you can just look at them and then you can just use them, and that makes the work easier for you and for me as well. All right, and so for total complaints, but then again, if there's a formula that you don't get or you didn't understand, you can just leave that in the comment section down below and I'll be sure to look at. And if I need to make a separate video explaining that into details, I'll be sure to do that just for you. All right. And so for total complaints, we are using, like I said, the count. All right, so the count of the entire data set, so that by using the complaint ID as the key, all right, or as the base. Okay, so I'm going to say count and then complaint ID, and this is simply written as count, like so. So if I write count, a bracket opens, and I'm going to type ID, so complaint ID. Excuse me, make sure the spelling is good. Complaint ID. So once you start typing it, it's going to give it to you. Then you select it, and then you close the bracket and you click on enter. It's as simple as that. All right. And so the first thing is to answer the total complaints. So like so, and with this we are going to be using the card visual to illustrate this. So once I have this, all we need to now do is to go in and do our formatting. Okay, so I'm going to go right in, and for this I'm going to do the formatting real quick. All right, so like so, and then that should be that for that. Now we are going to turn off the background. Okay, and now like so. So for the cars as well, we are going to turn off the background and all of that. So background, divider, and border, I want to turn that all off. All right, so if you want, we can use the accent bar, but in this case I don't want to use the accent bar. All right, and so we are going to go to the callout, and for the callout we have the value and then we have the label. Now there is the value and the label. All right, so we can format this, either reduce it a little bit or increase it. All right, so in this case I want to reduce it a little bit. Now the change is to Times New Roman. All right, like so, and let's bold it a little bit, and for the color we want to go with white. All right, for this, like so. Okay, and then that should be that for that, and then now we can go to the label. All right, so that is what is found down here. And for the label, I'm simply going to change this as well, make this Times New Roman, and I'm going to change this, and I'm going to use this color for that. All right, and now that I'm done with this, like so. Okay, now what I can simply do again is I can just come to general, go to effects, and remove the background effect, so that I can have just something like so. Okay, all right, so now that I have this, I'm going to fix this right in there, like so. All right, and then voila, that is it. I'm good to go. So that is the first question solved, and that was just simple. Now the second question is asking us to find the percentage of complaints that are resolved versus unresolved. All right, so complaints that are resolved versus unresolved, and for that, if you come to our table or our data set, okay, if you go to our data set, what we are going to see is that we are going to see this. So company response to consumer. All right, and so this is showing is that this has been closed. That means it has been resolved. All right, and this also is saying that closed with explanation means resolved, closed with monetary relief resolved, closed with non-monetary relief resolved. It's been closed, so it's been resolved. And then we have in progress. So this in progress is what is being it's what hasn't been resolved, right? Or it's what's being unresolved. Okay, and so for that, what I simply did was that I went in to find for in progress. All right, so those that are still in progress. All right, and I use a calculate function to find the calculate the entire total complaints. All right, if you don't know what the calculate function is, I have videos on that. All right, so you can check the calculate function. It's something to filter out specific informations. All right, and so in this case we want to filter out the total complaints that are still in progress. Okay, and so it says calculate the total complaints. I've already summed or counted my complaints. So I have my total complaints measure. All right, so I say calculate the total complaints. Now we are filtering by this the company response to consumers if it's still in progress. All right, so we only want the total complaints that are still in progress, and this is a formula that we use. Okay, so that now that I have my total complaints still in progress, I can select the in progress by the overall total complaints, like so. All right, and with this I can just use this to represent it, so that this so we don't have to go in and then do division and all of that. All right, by this we can simply say that out of the total complaints, 1,494 is still in progress, and that represents a 2.33%. All right, of the total complaints that came in. All right, and so it's as simple as that. So I can just bring that right here. We have that right here, and we can again go ahead and then just do our formatting to this. All right, so in this case I don't want to see the legend, so I'm going to turn that off. All right, and then for the colors for total complaints, I want to use the color this for the total complaints. All right, and then for improvements. All right, so if it's in progress, I like to leave it as so. All right, like with this. All right, I would like to leave it with this color. All right, so this is in progress. All right, and then for the detail labels section, now we can come in. That's for the values. All right, so I want to change this and I want to make this tabs in Roman. I want to increase this a little bit to about 11. All right, and then we can just simply change the color of this. Let's make it white, and that looks good. And now we can come to the effects and turn off the effects. All right, so that we have so. And for the title, we can format the title a little bit as well. Now I like to have most of my things in Times New Roman. All right, so I'm going to have it in Times New Roman like so. Excuse me, like so. All right, so I have it in Times New Roman now, and I'm going to put this in the middle. And for the color, I want to make this white. All right, like so. And so we are done with the second question, all right, for today. And now we are moving on to the third question, all right. And so that was very simple. The third question: what is the total positive timely response count? So the timely response count that received the yes, all right. So the timely response count that received a no is negative. Those that received the yes in this case is positive, all right. And so how many positives responses did we get, all right, or how many yes responses did we get? All right, and so with that as well, I also use the formula. All right, and you can see we use a calculate formula as well, and we are saying that, all right, so for now we are looking to filter out the responses with yes. So as it calculate the total complaints as well, we are filtering by timely response if it's yes. Okay, we are filtering by timely response if it's yes. And so that with that, I can just take this and I'll be using a card for this. Okay, so I can simply just select this because it's going to be a card, and I'm going to format pin this so that I can just put this right here. All right, okay, put this right here like so, and that's good. All right, so that's the third question solved. Let's move on to the next one. And then for the next question, which is question number 4, we are looking at how have complaint volumes changed over time. So we are looking at monthly and quarterly. But so we are looking at monthly and quarterly. All right, so how have complaint volume changed over time? Okay, and so with this we need to go and create our calendar table or dig table, and this is my calendar table if you don't know. So this is my calendar table that I have created. All right, so I created my calendar table by using calendar. This is the formula. All right, so this is a formula I use to create my calendar table, and then from that I created my year column. All right, I created my month column, I created my week name column, and I created my month name column. All right, my weekday column, and I created my quarter column. Right, like so. So these are the formulas that I use in creating my calendar table. All right, and you can just look at them right there. And if you are not familiar with calendar tables, you can just copy the formulas. Calendar tables are a lot better to use as compared to the dates that are found data set, because they give you more options to be flexible with what you want. All right, when it comes to date findings. Okay, all right. And so I have my calendar table already, and we are looking at the total complaints by month. All right, we are looking at total complaints by month and then by weekday. All right, and so in view of this, I prefer to I'll probably just use month. All right, I'll probably just use month because quarter I don't think it's really necessary, but you can use quarter. All you need to do is just add quarter to this. All right, and it's going to give you something like this, and this is going into the realms of draw up and draw down, so you can just do this. All right, you can just do this. All right, so that you can just have something like so, so that if you want to go to quarter, you just select this, it take you to quarter. But you see how it is. All right, and if you change this, bring this up, you are still just essentially looking at how do we call it, at the months. All right, so I'm just going to change this and then make it just for months. All right, like so. Okay, and I'm going to be using this to represent that. Okay, so now I have this here and I'm going to put this right in here, and I can go in and do my formatting. Okay, so for x-axis, we are going to format this times new roman. All right, like so. And I'm probably going to increase this a little bit, and I'm going to make this white. All right, so that I have something like so. And then I'm going to, all right, so there's no label or title, and that is fine. And for my y-axis as well, I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to turn this off. All right, so that I have something like so. Okay, all right. So now for the secondary y-axis, what are we going to do? I don't want any secondary y-axis. Okay, so let's turn this right off over here. All right, now let's see if there are any grid lines. Okay, let's see if there are any grid lines. So there aren't any grid lines, and that is also perfectly fine. Now we can change the line. So this is the line. We can change the line color, right, from blue, and that is what I would like to do. I would like to change the line color from blue to what's the name of that color again? Is it orange? To this color, right? So I like to change it to this color, and I like to do a little bit of more formatting to that. So what I want to do is I want to change the line. I want it to be solid, increase the width a little bit to about 4. All right, and then the interpolation type, I want to change it from linear like so to smooth. All right, so that I can have something like this smooth. All right, all right. So now that we are done with that, I'd probably like to add some shaded area like so to this, and that should look good. And then for markers, we want to turn on the markers. All right, we want to turn on the markers. All right, so like so. And I would have loved to increase it a little bit, but I think it's fine. And then I'm going to leave the color also as it is. All right, we are not going to add any data labels in this regard. So we are going to go right to our effects, turn off the effect. All right, and we are going to work on the title. And I'm going to say, all right, for title, let's make it Times New Roman again. All right, like so. Okay, and then we can put this right in the middle or in the center and change this, and let's make this white, so that now we can just have this. All right, and I believe this is looking good. This is fine. Okay, so now we can move on to the next question. And the next question is, are complaints increasing or decreasing year over year? So now we are looking at a year over year percentage change. Okay, we are looking at a year over year percentage change. So I've already created my year over year. So I'm going to show you the measure. So the first thing when it comes to year over year, all right, is to get your total complaints. So that's going to be your current year, all right. So the total complaints, this is the current year total complaints, all right. And then after getting this, you are going to have to go create your previous year, all right, complaints, all right, or measure your previous year measure complaint. And for that is this. So in this particular case, for PY complaints, I use the same period last year. Now some people like to use the date add -1, all right, and then year, all right, and that is also fine. Okay, so with that simply is going to be like so. So calculate this, and some people prefer to use this date add calendar, right, table like so, and we are just going to use -1 and year. So you can also use this, and this should also work. All right, so like so will work, but I just wanted to make it simple. All right, that is why I'm using the same period last year. All right, I'm using this calendar table, all right, because I believe this is simple. Okay, so like so. And so PY complaint, so you are going to find your current complaint, previous year complaint, then now you can find your year over year percentage change. And for the year over year percentage change, you simply divide total complaint minus PY divided by P as comma PY, all right, and then this 0 right over here. All right, so this 0 is simply putting it in a percentage and form already for you. Okay, and so this is going to be the formula for that as well. Okay, and so now that we are okay with that, we can just quickly move in, pick our year. Okay, so I'm going to pick my year, and then I'm going to go pick my current year complaints, which is my total complaint, and then my previous year complaints, and I can pick my year over year complaints. All right, like so. and then from there I can simply just pick this and bring this right in here. Okay, so like so. So this is looking good, and now we can go ahead and format this. Okay, now we can go ahead and format this. So I'm going to go right in and then start formatting this particular table or visualization. So this is fine right here. So this is simply formatting. Okay, this is simply formatting. So you just come here and then do our formatting. Now formatting, it depends entirely on you. How you want to format your work is your problem. All right, but you should learn to format it in a way that makes it stand out. Right, that is what is important. Okay, that is what is important, but it's all on you. Okay, it's all actually on you. All right, and formatting takes a while to get used to. Okay, it takes a while to get used to. You don't just get up and then start formatting. It takes a while. You need to keep practicing. All right, so that now you are okay with or you have a certain type of formatting style. All right, so if you realize, I personally have a certain formatting style. I don't like green lines. I don't like certain things in my formatting, and so I tend to go in and then check for those things, and then I take them out. All right, so I don't know if you've practiced long enough. There should be a couple of things that you should like to use when you are doing your formatting, and a couple of things that you wouldn't want to have when you are doing your formatting. All right, and that depends entirely on you. All right, you're the person that is doing the formatting. Okay, that depends entirely on you. So this looks good. And totals, so column headers, let's see. Oh, I wanted to use the matrix. All right, that is why I wasn't all right, so I just turn this off, turn this right off. Okay, all right, so now we can continue and then do our formatting. So column headers looks fine. All right, now for row headers, let's see, change this to Times New Roman, and then for the text color we want to make white. Then for the background, I like to turn this off and then choose this color for the background. All right, so that we have something like so. Okay, all right, now for good measure, I'm going to go to my effects and turn this right off, so that now I can have something like so. Okay, so now this is looking pretty good. All right, and then there's one more thing. I like to use the conditional formatting. All right, so conditional formatting, like so. I'm going to go to cell element. All right, and for that I'm basing it on the total complaints, which is this. All right, and I'm going to be using data bars to illustrate this. All right, so like so, but I want to conditional format this, where I'm going to say if it's positive, I want it to be this color, and then if it's negative, I want it to be so if it's positive, I want it to be this color, and then if it's negative, I want it to go down a little bit, like so. Now I think this is fine. So if it's positive, I want it to be this. If it's negative, I like it to be this blue. Alright, like so. Okay, so now this is looking good. Alright, and we can see from here that from 2017 to 2018, there was an increase. Alright, so there was an increase like so. So a 0.47 increase. Alright, because in 2017 it was, the complaints were around 5,000, but in 2018 they jumped to 7,000. Alright, and then in 2019 it went down to 7,075, which was a decrease of 0.10%. Alright, in 2020 it went up right again to about 0.26%. 2021 it was up again by 0.24% from 2020, and then in 2022 again it went up by 0.16 from 2021, and then like so. Right, and so yeah. Hello, I'm Meshak here, and still in the course of the video, just wanted to take a minute and to let you know that if you're a small business owner or someone trying to break into data analytics, hey, you should know that I can help you move faster without confusion. Over here, I offer one-on-one data analytics coaching where I teach you podcast skills in Power BI, SQL, Excel, Python, alright, and business insights tailored to your goals. Whether it's for improving decisions or landing a role, you are at the right place. I also need you to know that I've also created a Power BI beginner ebook that breaks everything down step by step, no jargon, no overwhelming. And so if you are ready to actually understand data and use it with confidence, I will ask you to check the links right below. I've attached it to my video. Alright, and you can see, so this is my one-on-one coaching where you can book a coaching session with me and you can get to ask me questions directly and I can help you to solve any problem that you are looking to solve when it comes to data analytics. You can also find my ebook here, right? And so if there is something that you like, you can simply go in and then you can purchase it, and it's quite affordable, so you can just go in and purchase it, and trust me that you are going to get the value that you are looking for as you buy it. Alright, so without much ado, I digress. Let's move back to the video. So now let's move on to the next question. And what is the next question? So the next question is asking, are there spikes in complaints during specific periods? And rightfully so, there are spikes in complaints around July, right? In July, the complaints are really on the high, as you can see right there. So July holds the highest number of complaints overall. And then in 2022 as well, if you're looking at the year by year, we can see that in 2022 the complaints were really high from the remaining. So 2021, 2022, there was so much more complaint as compared to the rest of the years. All right, but in 2023 went down again. So hopefully 2024 is going to stay on that tangent. All right, or on that trend. All right, but in 2022 and 2021 the complaints were so high, and normally around July we see a lot of complaints come in as compared to the other seasons. Okay, all right. So now the next question is saying, which products or services generate the most complaints? All right. So which product or service generates the most complaints? So we are looking at the total complaints, and we are looking at product or services. All right. And for this we are having product. So I'm going to be using product, and we are going to because we are looking for the product that are making the most, that are bringing the most complaints. I'm just going to look at the top 10. All right, and so I'm going to come here, I'm going to select the top 10. All right, the top 10 products making the most complaints. Okay, so like so, and just like that I have this. Okay, all right, so the top 10, and now I'm having this, something like so. Okay, and this is looking pretty good. All right, so now we can just format this. So I'm going to come right here and I'm going to format this. Okay, so I'm changing this to Times New Roman for this particular project, and I'm making this white. All right, like so, and I want to increase a little bit to like 10. All right, even though I can't see what is it now, but that is fine. And I want to turn off the title for the y-axis. All right, and again for the x-axis I would like to turn off the title and the value as well. Right, so that now I just have this. Okay, now let's see green lines. There are any green lines in my work, so there aren't any green lines in my work, which is perfect. And I'm going to turn on my zoom slider, allow zoom sliders. All right, so for the bars in this particular case I'm going to be using this, like so, this for the bars. All right, and then I believe that should be that for now over here. And for the general, I'm just going to work on the title a little bit. So top 10 products. So I'm going to say top 10 top 10 wait, hold on. So top 10 products with the highest complaints, right? So top 10 products with the highest complaints. And now we can simply go ahead and change your font style for this as well to Times New Roman. So like so, all right. And now I want to put this right in the middle, and then change this to white. And let's see, decrease this to 30. All right. So right from here, now to see how everything is looking, we are going to turn the background off, and then we can save it. But this is not exactly what I want. Okay. So I'm going to come right here to my arrow bars. I want to make the bars rounded, right? I want to make the bars rounded, so I'm going to go to the arrow bars. Now I have a video on arrow bars, how to use arrow bars and how to turn your columns, all right, from this, all right, squared to rounded charts, all right, rounded bar or column chart. So you can check that out in my playlist, all right, or if you want, I can just leave that in somewhere in my end screen, all right, yeah, so that you can check that out. Okay, so we have the total complaints, and now I've created a dummy measure for this, which is my name measure is equal to 0, all right, so that I can put that here in the lower bound, all right. Okay, so now that I'm done, I'm just going to enable this, turn this on, and I'm going to do my, my magic. So bar color, I want it to be this, and then width, I'm going to increase this all the way to 10, and then border, I want it to be the same color, all right, and I'm going to increase the border size to markers. I want to change this to this. Like I said, I have videos on this already where I explain it in details. And so if you are getting a bit confused right over here, don't worry, Meshach has got you. Just go and then look, search for my my video on rounded bar charts, and you are going to see a detailed explanation of what I'm doing and how this is done. All right, and so voila, we have our top 10 products with the highest complaints right over here. So now we are moving on to the next question, and the next question says what? The next question is asking us to find what are the most common complaint issues that have been reported by consumers. So the most common complaint issues. So we are going to go in right there and check that out. All right, and so for that we are looking at this the total complaint as well again. All right, and we are looking for the what are we looking for again? So let me just go and check that out once more. We are looking for common complaint issues. All right, so we are looking for issues. Okay, some people say issues, some people say issues. Now I'm not entirely sure if it's issues or issues, but well, whatever, I believe to everyone its own. So personally, I just say issue, and when I want to, you know, sound foreign, I say issue. I mean, but I mean, come on, it really doesn't matter that much, does it? And so I like to do this way, all right. And because I have a similar thing, I'm just going to like so, okay. And now I can just go to my error bars, all right, error bars like so. Now measure lower bound, and then total upper bound, right? Okay, enabled. Now this is just a similar thing, all right. So I've selected this, went to format painter, and then I clicked on format painter and I clicked on it, all right, so that I can get it already formatted. And so all I need to do is to go to my error bars and then work the magic, the same thing that I did for the previous one. Just do the same thing right over here. Okay, so it's nothing really difficult. If you're struggling, if you don't get anything, kindly be sure to draw my attention to it. All right, okay. Now this is going to be this, all right, like so. We're increasing this up like so, and then voila, this looking clean, and I love it. Okay, so now that we are done with that, let's move on to the next question, which is going to be which states or regions generate the most complaints. All right, so which states and regions generate the most complaints. All right, and by that we are going to carry this total complaint once more, and then for this we are looking at the state. Okay, we are looking at the state, so I'm going to select my state and I'm using the ship map. Now I have a complete video on ship maps, what ship maps are, how to get the ship map, how to get access to the ship map, how to download your maps for your ship maps and all of that. I have an entire video on that, all right. And so I believe in that also alongside the other things that I've talked about in the end screen or at the end of this video, okay, and then you can check that out, all right, and then just get used to that, because it's important I get used to that so that I don't get lost in this project, okay. And so I believe in that with the other things, all right, the other videos that I have created already for you guys, I believe in that at the end of this video. So if you want, you can actually just pause this and then go in there, take a look at those videos, and then right after you can come and then continue with this. Okay, and that is perfectly fine. Okay, and so I have this. All right, so for the maximum, I like the maximum in this case to be maybe yellow. All right, so I like the maximum to be like yellow, like so. All right, so this is the maximum. So the state with the most complaints is this. All right, this one, CA, California, the most complaint. All right, just to distinguish that. And now for my blank colors, I like to use this. All right, to indicate that. Okay, so that now I can just go here, and then for my effects, I'm going to turn my effects off like so. And then for my title, complaints by state, that is fine. All right, so times like so. And now I can just change this and make this white. All right, now I'll be coming back to something, so hold on, just give me a minute. So let's increase it a little bit into like so. Good. So if you get data set, all right, what you're going to realize is that the state, okay, so for state, state is going to be showing the state is going to be showing uncategorized. All right, it's going to be showing uncategorized. And so what you want to do, if you want to use a state, all right, if you want to use a state, is to change it from uncategorized. So you just need to come here, going to change from uncategorized, and then you select your state. All right, so that you can use that in the map visuals. All right, so you can use that in the map visuals. And so don't forget to, when you get the data set, to go to your state and then change it, select state, change the date category from uncategorized to state in order to have the opportunity to use that in the map chart. All right, okay, so now we are done with that. And what is the next question? The next question says, which state or region generates the most complaints? So from this, we can simply say that the state that generates the most complaints is CA. All right, it's CA, which is California. So that is not even difficult at all. And then our complaints concentrated on specific geographical regions. I don't know, but I think complaints are centered around here, CA, and then Texas, which is TX. So this and this probably. All right, but aside that, the rest are kind of not that much. All right, not very much, but this Texas bringing in just over 4,500, and then CA bringing in over 13,000 is something to be wary of. All right, so we can explain this to management, so management can see what they can do, all right, when it comes to those particular regions. And the last one is the risk submission channels and produce. So with this, we are simply going to use slices to solve this. All right, and so I'm simply going to go to submitted via. All right, so this like so, and I'm going to use my slicer like this, and let's format the slicer a little bit. All right, so I'm going to format my slicer, nothing really difficult. All right, we are just going to change this to 1, change this to 1, so that we just have 1 email. All right, but then that is not all. So right after we've gotten this done, we are going to go to gulp. All right, make this 1, all right, or 0, whichever one, and then we are going to go to overflow, and this is where the magic lies. All right, we are going to make this paginated so that now we can have this. All right, so this arrow is going to tell us that, all right, so if you select the arrow, click on it, it's going to take us to the next submitted via channel. All right, but we don't want it vertically, we want it horizontally. So I'm going to select horizontally so that now we have it right here. All right, like so. Okay, all right, and so now that we have that, we can simply just go ahead and do a little bit more formatting. So for the callout, I would like to increase the callout for this and make this about 14. We are going to change this to Times New Roman. All right, so Times New Roman like so, and then I want to make the color for this like so, this. All right, and let's see if we can border a little bit, and 15 looks fine, right? Okay, all right, and so now that we have this, we can simply just go to buttons and then remove the backgrounds. We want to remove all the backgrounds for this. All right, so first let's remove the borders and let's remove the backgrounds. All right, okay, good. This is beginning to look good. Now let's see if we need to remove the background from here as well. So this looks okay for now. So let's come here and I'm going to go here and say, all right, so I want to remove all effects, right? So that now I have just this, okay? But I don't want submitted view. I don't want to see this, okay? So I can just remove it from here. So that now I just have this, all right? Okay. So now we have this, like so, right? Wait, this seems to be too long. All right, now this is looking more, making a little bit more sense. All right, okay, so like so, good, good. And now we have this, okay. All right, so that it matches, okay, like so. All right, so now we are done with that, and we need to add a few more slices to this. All right, so let's go and see how we can do just that. All right, so now we are looking at timely response, yes or no. All right, so I'm going to select this. I'm going to select this right here, and I'm just going to come here because it's the same thing. Go to format painter, and I'm going to format paint this. All right, so that I can we can now have something like so. Excuse me. You can now have something like so. But there's a problem. This is blank, so I'm just going to come right here and I'm going to select all and remove blank. All right, so now we don't have blank, we have a yes or a no. Okay, and so if it's no, you see the information for the no's. All right, so these results didn't receive any timely response. All right, they didn't receive the timely response, so we have in progress. So total complete 2403 didn't receive timely response, and we can see all of them. And then those that receive the timely response, we have it right over here, and we can just go ahead and analyze that. Okay, and so we have that. And the final one that I would like to add to this should be compare company response, company to public. So issue, so we are just going to look at submitted product, like so. Again, we are going to format paint this, so I'm going to come right here, come here, select this, hold on, we are going to select this. All right, come right here, like so. Okay, all right, and now we can fix this right over here. So again, we don't want to see the blank, so I'm going to select all and I'm going to remove the blank. All right, okay, so that now we have this, like so. All right, good. So finally, this is the entire dashboard that we've just created, a completed consumer complaints dashboard that management can use to deduce what is happening, the complaints that we are receiving, which complaints are so much, and how we can look forward to rectifying these complaints, and whether the complaints keep rising over time or they keep decreasing over time, and which which cities are receiving the most complaints, or the company is receiving the most complaints from, so that management is able to target those cities and see if they can curb the complaints that are happening in those particular cities. All right, and so in view of this, this is the entire dashboard that we've just created in, I believe, in about an hour or less. All right, and so this was a simple one, and I do hope you enjoyed the process and the guide that I took to arrive at this destination. If you did, do be sure to leave a like to this video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can join the Nakama, so that when I upload any new video like this one, you are going to be among the first to be notified. Be sure to leave a comment in the comment section if there's something that you'd like me to get a note of, all right, or assist you with, or anything, all right. Just leave a comment in the comment section down below. I'll check it out and I'll respond promptly and well. Okay, and so yes, without much ado, I like to bring this video to an end. And like I always say, do be sure to take care of yourself, and I'll be sure to catch you in the next one. Stay safe.